हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We shall chant from the fourth mantra of the sixth section. Sapranam ashrujat pranat shraddham kham vayuhu jyotirapah prithvi indriyam mano annam annad viryam tapo mantraha karmalokaha lokeshu cha nam cha सयते मानद्यः स्यन्द्यमानाः समुद्रायणाः समुद्रं प्राप्य स्तं गच्छन्ति विद्येते तासां नामरूपे समुद्रैत्येवं प्रोच्यते एवमेव अस्य परिद्रष्टुः इमा षोडशकला पुरुषायणाः पुरुषं प्राप्य स्तं गच्छन्ति भिद्येते चासां नामरूपे पुरुष इत्येवं प्रोच्यते स एषो कलो अमृतो भवति तदेष श्लोकः अरा इव रतनाभौ कला यस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठिताः तं वेद्यं पुरुषं वेद यथा मावो मृत्युः परिव्यथा इति. So the last question was asked about the Shodashakala Purusha. So where is this Shodashakala Purusha? So the teacher replied that it is in this body itself. Means we can recognize that Purusha in our own body. And from that Purusha alone, all these kalas have come. All these kalas are born in the Purusha itself. And the teacher enumerates the kalas and thereafter also indicates that just as all the rivers, which are like kalas of the ocean, they constantly flow towards the ocean. In the beginning, they may have different names, different forms, but they are constantly flowing towards the ocean. So even when they are flowing toward the ocean, they are of the nature of water itself, having different names, different forms. But when they merge with the ocean, they are only known as the ocean. Similarly, all these kalas from prana all the way to nama, they have risen from that Purusha. They are sustained in the Purusha and again merges back into the Purusha to be born again. So this is a beautiful cycle. But even when these kalas are there, if from the standpoint of the Purusha, there are no kalas. Just as from the standpoint of water, there is no ocean, there are no rivers, there are no lakes, there are no ponds, there is only water and water alone. But from the standpoint of a water body, we see different forms and they have their different names and they have their different expressions, activities, functions. So one has to recognize this Purusha within this body itself. The Purusha is also indicated as a hub where all these kalas are like the spokes which are all fixed in the hub and which sustains the wheel. So the teacher finally tells the student, Kitam Vedyam Purusham. This Purusha is the Vedya, has to be known. The Purusha alone has to be known. See, we try to know so many things in this world, but all this knowledge are temporary. They don't give us that peace and happiness which we are seeking. The only way to to gain eternal peace and happiness and freedom from all bondage is by knowing that purusha within this body, that I am that purusha. So tam vedyam purusham veda. Yatha mavo mrityuhu parivyatha iti. If you want to become free of the afflictions of mrityu, then know this purusha. So thus the teacher concludes his teaching, and then in conclusion, he says in the next mantra, let us chant mantra number 7. Tan hovacha etavad eva aham etat param brahma veda natap param asti iti. Tan uvacha etavad eva aham etat param brahma veda natap param asti iti. The teacher concludes by saying, Tan uvacha. He told all the 6 disciples. See, the 6 disciples had approached this teacher with their own individual questions. But they kept sitting and listening to the teacher even when he was replying to the question of different students. So all of them heard not only the questions of all the students, but the reply also. So finally the teacher concludes. He says, Tan uvacha. To all of them, he replied, he said, Ki etavat eva aham etat param brahma veda. That I know this much only about that param brahma. All of you had come to me to seek that param brahma only. Though everyone had their own questions, but the ultimate question which we have is to know who am I? Who is this self? And that is indicated as the Param Brahma. And only by knowing that Param Brahma, we can become free of all our sorrows, all our sufferings. Brahmavid apnoti param. Even Taittiriya Upanishad says that the knower of Brahma attains the supreme. So after replying in detail to each one's questions, the teacher finally tells them, Ki etavat eva aham etat param brahma veda. I know about this param brahma this much only. I cannot, there is nothing more I know about that param brahma. So when the teacher says so, the disciples might have thought that, oh, our teacher knows only this much about this Brahma, so maybe we will have to go to some other teacher to find more about that Brahma. Maybe there is something more to be learned, to be known. So the teacher continues, he says, Ki na atat param asti iti. There is nothing more to be known. This is the ultimate. And this is the most fascinating, most wonderful thing which is revealed in the Upanishads. That there is nothing more than this. See, in the field of science and other fields, people keep collecting a lot of knowledge, And sometimes they may feel that, oh, we have known whatever has to be known. Even in the field of science, they try to understand this world, and they came to know about the solar system. They came to know about the galaxy, and they thought that, oh, all that we want to know is known. But then suddenly they discover that there are more galaxies beyond this Milky Way. They discovered that the planets and others, they follow the laws of Newton, but then they discovered the limitations of these laws. Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, and suddenly the vision of the world became more clear. Then they thought, okay, we have understood. But still, the scientists kept on discovering, even now, they keep on discovering new things. So, no scientist can definitely and with confidence say that we have known all that has to be known. But this is not the case with Upanishad, with Vedanta. Vedanta says, Upanishad says, that the Brahma, the Param Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, which is Ekameva Advitiyam, once it is known, there is nothing more to be known. There is no possibility of anything greater than this Brahma, superior than this Brahma, equivalent than this Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan says, Matta parataram nanya kinchid asti dhananjaya. Mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana. That there is nothing greater than me, nothing equal to me, nothing lesser than me. I alone support this entire world like a thread supporting the beads. So there is nothing more to be known. This is the final. Once we know Param Brahma, our knowing, our thirst to know, our journey to know comes to an end. And one who knows it also knows that there is nothing more to be known. One who comes to comprehend this comes to know that there is nothing more to be known. So Natak Paramasti, that is, you have to just contemplate, do your sadhana, and recognize this Brahma alone, rather than going here and there, trying to find out if there is something more, there's something different, there's something better. One has to, with faith in the teacher, with faith in the Shastras, sincerely do the sadhana and recognize this Brahma. So after the teacher concludes, what did the student do? See, we have this our tradition, our culture, that when we gain knowledge from the teacher doesn't ask. When we approach the teacher just see whether we have the qualification to gain this knowledge, and whether we have approached with proper attitude and humility. So if we have those qualifications, the teacher imparts this knowledge without keeping anything behind. So here also, Pippala the Rishi, he just poured out all this knowledge with total compassion and love for the students. So what did the student do? So that is said now in the last mantra. Te tam archayantah tvam hina pita yo asmakam avidyayah param param tarayasiti namah param rishibhyo namah param rishibhyah te tam archayantah tvam hina pita yo asmakam avidyaya param param tarayasiti namah param rishibhyo namah param rishibhyah te tam archayantah. The students, they did not know what can be offered to the teacher for such a wonderful knowledge which he has given us, that knowledge which can destroy all the sufferings and give eternal peace and happiness. What can be equivalent to this knowledge? See, when we go to the market, we buy something, we get the product, and we have to give some equivalent money to that shopkeeper. Depending on the value of that object, we give. But there are certain things in life which cannot be measured with wealth, which cannot be measured with anything. The things which we get from our parents, from our elders, from nature, from the society, from the devatas, what can we offer them? But we offer our gratitude, we offer our seva, we offer whatever other things which, according to our capacity, we can offer. So here, when the students they gain this knowledge, then what did they do? Shankaracharya writes in his commentary, कि ततः ते शिष्याः गुरुणा अनुशिष्टाः. After gaining that knowledge from the Guru, tam gurum kritarthaः. They became so grateful. They became extremely grateful. And one has to acknowledge this gratefulness. So becoming very grateful, santaha vidya nishkriyam apashyantaha. And they came to know that there is nothing which they can offer which can be compared to what they have gained from the teacher. So they offered themselves. They just surrendered to the teacher. Kim krutavantaha iti uchyate. What did they do? Archayantaha. They did archana of the teacher. They did namaskar to the teacher, offered flowers on his feet. Pujayantaha. They worship the teacher. Padayoho. By washing his feet and offering flowers on his feet, pushpanjali, prakiranena, pranipatena cha shirasa, and they did namaskar, placing their head on his feet. Nothing can be offered which can be equivalent to what we gain from our teacher. But from our side, we should offer, not as a comparison, but to express our gratitude. Express our gratitude as per our capacity. So kim uchuhu iti aha. And what did they say? What did they say to the teacher? Tvam hino asmakam pita. They said, you are our father. You are our father. The student addressed the teacher. They said, you are our father. Asmakam pita. Brahma sharirasya vidyaya. Because you have given this Brahma sharir. See, our own father gives us this body. Our parents, we get the body from our parents. And this body lasts for some time, for some years. It has its own span. And with this body, we achieve a lot of things in this world. So it is very important. But the teacher is one who gives us Brahma Sharir. A very beautiful term is used by Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji. Brahma Sharirasya. He gives that Brahma Sharir means we come to know that I am Brahma. I get as though the body of Brahma. I come to know that I am Brahma through knowledge, Vidyaya. Janai Trutvat Nityasya. And this Brahma Sharir is Nitya, is eternal. It never gets destroyed. Nityasya Ajara. It never becomes old. Amara, it never dies. Amarasya Abhayasya. There is no fear in it. One becomes fearless. So just imagine what one gains from one's teacher. Yastvam eva asmakam avidyaya viparita jnanat. And the teacher, through this knowledge, he destroys all the negative knowledge, all the ignorance, which causes again and again birth, old age, and death. And even when we are alive, the body is filled with so much of disease and sorrow. Janma, Jara, Marana, Roga, Dukkhadi, Grahat, Aparat, which is so vast, all this sorrow, pain, trouble in this world. There is no end to all this. But the teacher, it is like ocean, this samsara with all the sorrow, pain, suffering is like an ocean. But the teacher, Maha Udadehe Vidya Plavena, with the boat of Vidya, with the ship of Vidya, of knowledge, Param Puna Avrutti Lakshanam Mokshakyam Maha Udadehe Iva Param Tarayasi. He takes us across this ocean of samsara by giving us that moksha, that state from where one doesn't have to come back into this samsara. Apunaravritti lakshanam mokshakyam maha udadehe iva param tarayasi asman ityataha. to take us across this ocean. Pitrutvam tava asma. You are like our father. Prati upapannam itarasma. So you are greater than our father who has given us this body. Our parents give us this body and we come into this samsara, we get the opportunity to walk this path. Because without this body, we cannot walk any path. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. So we cannot repay the what we have got from our own parents. But then once we die, the body also gets destroyed. Again, we are born again. We get another parents who give us another body. But the teacher is like the father who has given this Brahma Sharir, and there is no more birth for us in this samsara. Ita Sharira Matram Janayati. So other father only gives us Sharira Matram, only this body. But still, Tathapi Sab Prapujyatamaha Loke. But still, our parents are most worshipful in this world. So one who has given us this body, they are so worshipful. What to talk about one who has given us Brahma Sharir and taken us across this ocean of samsara. Kimu Vaktavyam Atyantika Abhayadatuhu iti Aviprayaha. One who has given that fearlessness by giving us this Brahma Sharir. What to talk about the reverence, the gratitude we should feel towards our teacher. So this most touching thing which is revealed here in this Upanishad. Finally, the students, they do namaskar, namat parama rishibhyo. They not only do namaskar to their own teacher, but they do namaskar to the entire parampara. See, we not only have this Anadi, Ananta, Apurusheya, the Vedas, which are the very source of this wisdom, but we have this Anadi, Ananta Parampara also, Guru Shishya Parampara. Because without the Guru Shishya Parampara, nobody will understand the Vedas. So this parampara is also very, very important, which begins from Ishvara himself. So Namam Parama Rishibhyaha. Namaskar to all the rishis in this parampara, in this sampradaya. Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyaha, who are the doers of this sampradaya, who have not only sustained this sampradaya, but it began also. So it began from Ishvara, and so many Rishi Munis, they have sustained this parampara through their selfless dedication to this path. So Namah Parama Rishibhyaha, namaskar to the Parama Rishi, iti dvirvachanam adarartham. Thus, it is this term is used twice, Namah Parama Rishibhyaha, to show ultimate what you call reverence, supreme reverence to them. Thus concludes this beautiful Upanishad. So before we conclude, we will briefly go through the entire Upanishad and recollect what we have learned. Okay, so this Upanishad is from Atharva Veda. It is from the Brahmana bhag. There are these mantra, brahmana, aranyaka, different portions of Vedas. So some Upanishads are from the mantra portion, some are brahmana portion, some are aranyaka. So the Mundaka Upanishad from the same Veda, Atharva Veda, is from the mantra bhag, and this is from the brahmana bhag. So this Upanishad begins with a story of 6 disciples approaching the teacher, Pippalada Rishi. They approach to gain knowledge of that Brahma. So Brahman, Brahmapara, Brahmanishta, Param Brahma, Anveshamanaha, Esha, Avai, Tat Sarvam Vakshati, Teha Samitpanayoho, Bhagavantam Pippaladam Upasannaha. They themselves, the students themselves, were great seekers and sadhaks, and they used to do their regular sadhana and upasana, but they had not recognized that Supreme Brahma. So, in order to gain the knowledge of Brahma, they approached this teacher, Pippalada Rishi. So, when they approached the Rishi told them that you stay here in my ashram for 1 year, following the sadhana of tapas, brahmacharya, and shraddha. Tapasa brahmacharyena shraddhaya samvatsaram samvatsyatha. And thereafter you can ask your question, whatever you have, and if I know the answer, I will give. So they stayed there for 1 year, following the sadhana of tapas, brahmacharya, and shraddha. And after 1 year, Kabandi Katyayana, he asked that from whom are all these creatures born? We see so many creatures in this world, human being, animal, bird, plant, devtas. From whom are they born? So the teacher said, they are all born from Prajapati. So Prajapati, having the desire to create, first creates Rai and Prana. And then from Rai and Prana, the entire creation happens. All beings are born. Even space, time are born. The Dakshinayan, Uttarayan, the Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, the day and night, everything are born from this Prajapati. Thereafter, the second disciple, Bhargavaha Vedarvi, he asked, how many devatas are there who hold this individual creature together? Who illumines the creature and who among them is the best? So the teacher said that this Pancha Mahabhuta are there, they are all devatas on the Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Then the Karmendriyas are there, Jnanendriyas are there, the Antakaran Chatushtaya are there. They are all holding this body, this individual together and also illumining this individual. But among all of them, Prana is the supreme. Because if the Prana lives, everyone will have to live. If Prana stays, everyone stays. Then they did the stuti, beautiful stuti of Prana. Then the third disciple, Kaushalyashchashvalayanaha, he approached the teacher and asked, from where this Prana is born? Bhagavan Kutaha Esha Prano Jayate. And how it comes into this body, how it divides itself into 5 fold, and how it controls everything inside as well as outside. So the teacher said, your question is Ati Prashna, very subtle, but you are a good student, I will reply. And he said this prana is born from Atma, the Param Atma, the Shuddha Atma, the Turiya Atma. Atmana Esha Prano Jayate. Just as a shadow is born from the Atma, this Prana is born. And because of the samskars of the mind, it enters a particular body and controls this body by dividing itself into prana, pan, udan, saman, and how these pancha pranas move in the various nadis are there, and they move in these nadis, and the sushumna nadi is there where the udan vayu moves. And every day when we go to sleep, in deep sleep, the udan vayu takes the mind towards to Brahma. So beautiful description is there of the various functions of this prana inside as well as outside. Then the fourth disciple approached the rishi and asked, "Ki Bhagwan, etasmin purushe kani swapanti, in this body, who goes to sleep? Who all go to sleep and who remains awake? And for whom is this dream? Who is seeing the dream and for whom is the happiness? And where are all these fixed? What supports all these factors?" So the teacher then said that just as the rays of the sun, they get absorbed in the orb of the sun, the senses get absorbed in the mind, and then one cannot see, hear, taste, touch. Everything gets absorbed in deep sleep, but only pranas, they remain awake. So the pranas are identified with the different types of Agni. So how the pranas remain awake, and the yajna, the Agnihotra karma also as though happens, and then as a result, the Udan Vayu takes the mind to Brahma. So in deep sleep, everything is fixed in that supreme Brahma, supreme purusha. Even the karta, bhokta, jnata is also fixed in that supreme Brahma, gains abidance in that supreme Brahma. So Esha, he drashta, sprashta, shrota, ghata, rasayita, manta, buddha, karta, vijnanatma, purusha, sab pare akshare atmani sampratishtate. They all gain abidance in that param atma. And when one is dreaming, it is the mind which is indicated as a devata who sees the dream. Mind sees the dream, and mind in deep sleep becomes one with Brahma, becomes of the nature of Anandam. So, detailed answer is given to the disciple. Then the fifth disciple, Shaibya Satyakamaha, he approached the teacher and he asked about Omkara Upasana. मनुष्येषु तद् भगवन् मनुष्येषु प्रायणान्तं ओंकारम् अभिध्यायेत कथमं वा वसतेन लोकं जयति कि हे भगवान, what about the person who does Omkar Upasana throughout his life? What loka does he attain? as a result of this Omkar Upasana. So first the teacher said this Omkar is a pratik of both the Apara Brahma as well as Param Brahma. Tasmai Sahovacha Etad Vai Satyakama Param Cha Aparam Cha Brahma. Omkar is both Aparam Brahma also and Param Brahma also. Tasmat Vidwan Etena Eva Ayatanena Etaram Ekataram and Veti. So through the support of Omkar, one can attain not only the Aparam Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha alone is indicated as Sagun Brahma or Sagun Ishvara is Hiranyagarbha, who expresses as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are Sagun Brahma, Hiranyagarbha. One can attain the loka of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh by doing upasana on Omkar. And when we contemplate on the meaning of the Omkar and understand that Om, then we can attain Param Brahma. We realize that Supreme Brahma here and now itself. So this Omkar Upasana also further are classified as Upasana focusing on A Matra, then focusing on U Matra and focusing on Ma Matra. So one may just know the A Matra of the Om, U Ma and the Amatra Om is there. So one may have the knowledge of A Matra. So we'll do the Upasana, Vaishvanara Upasana. One who has got the knowledge of A and O does the Hiranyagarbha Upasana. One who has got the knowledge of A, Uma does the Ishvara Upasana. And one who has got the knowledge of Om comes to recognize that Om as Brahma as one's own self. So one who does Akara Upasana again comes back into this world with good qualities like Tapas, Brahmacharya and Shraddha and gains glory and continues with his sadhana. One who does Akara Ukara Upasana goes to the higher worlds and again comes back into this world and continues with his sadhana. One who does Upasana knowing Oma goes to Brahmalok and there by the blessings of Brahma gains knowledge. But one who knows that Om then gains moksha here and now. Then the sixth disciple, Sukesha Bharadwaja, he asked this question, the last question, which we have been studying last few days. Hiranyanabha. Bhagavan Hiranyanabaha Kaushalya Rajaputro Mam Upetya Etam Prashnam Apruchata. So this Sukesha Bharadwaja, he told his teacher that once upon a time, one prince of Kaushalya Desh named Hiranyanabha, he approached me and he asked me a question. He asked me whether I know about Shodasha Kala Purusha. And I said, I don't know. Naham imam veda. Yadi aham imam avedisham katham te na vaksham iti. If I knew, then why will I not tell you? And if I tell you, if I don't know but still tell you something which is not proper, which is a lie, that will destroy all my punya karma. That is not proper. One should not lie. One should not give false knowledge. So that prince became little sad and went back. But I kept on contemplating on his question, and now I'm asking you, oh my dear teacher, where is this purusha? Vaso purusha iti. Where is this purusha? So then the teacher replied, कि इह एव अंतःशरीरे सौम्य स पुरुषः. That purusha is in this body itself, hey Soumya. We don't have to go in search of this purusha elsewhere. We have to dive within this. This body, what we have got, is most miraculous. We have to learn to dive within and gain that direct realization of that purusha. See, generally our attention is in the world outside. Even in Kathopanishad, we have seen the Creator has created these senses which are always looking outside. Paranchikhani Vetrunat Swayambhu. That Swayambhu has created these senses always looking out. So our attention is always outside. As soon as we wake up in the morning, where is our attention? Our attention is outside. We look around, we check the time. Some people check their messages. They want to know what happened to the world when they were asleep. So our attention is always outside. But only rare few individuals have the power and the patience and the capacity to turn their attention within. Kaschid dhiraha. Pratyek atmanam ekshata. They turn their vision and see the pratyek atma, the inner self. So the teacher says that the purusha is in this body itself, from whom all this Shodasha Kala have come, from whom the Shodasha Kala are born. And then he says how it all came about. So Ishansh Chakre, that Purusha, he thought that what is that which having left, I will also appear to have left, which if remains, I also appear to have remained. And then he created this 16 kalas. See, in the beginning it was said in the first question, Prajapati, he created Ragi and Prana, etc. But in Prajapati himself is born from the Supreme Purusha only. So here the very source of all creation is indicated as that Param Purusha, who is also indicated as Brahma. Janmadhyasya yataha. Even in Brahma Sutra, that Brahma is indicated as one from whom this entire creation happens. So he thought, let me create, and he created. See, this creation is also cyclic. So everything is born, it is sustained, and again get dissolved. Again it is born, sustained, and dissolved. So this goes on and on. Just like the beautiful example of the ocean and the water cycle. The water cycle continues. The water gets evaporated, it goes up, gets condensed, it falls down as rain, this world is constantly created, sustained, and get dissolved. There are infinite jivas. So we have to just recognize ourselves and become free from this cycle. So from this purusha is born first the prana. So pranam ashrujata. Shankaracharya called this prana as sarvadikari, the CEO of Ishvara. Chief Executive Officer. So Ishvara appoints him and prana, and from prana are born Shraddha, then Kham means Akash, Vayu, then Agni, then Jyoti means Agni, Apah, water, Prithvi, the earth, then all the Indriyas, the Karmendriyas, the Jnanendriyas, Manaha, mind. Then to sustain all this, food is required, so food is also born, Annam. Then from food, Virya, one gains the strength, so Viryam. And with this, one performs various actions, and then the mind also becomes impure. So to purify the mind, Bhagavan created tapas, tapaha, and to regulate our all activities in tapas, he also created the mantras, Vedas. Then, taking the guidance of the Vedas, we can perform various actions. So, karma is also born, and as a result of karma, there are different lokas. So, lokaha, and in those lokas, one gets different names. So, nama is also born. Then, the teacher also says that just as all the rivers, they have different names, different forms, but when they all move toward the ocean, and when they meet the ocean, they lose their name and form, and they are only known as the ocean. Similarly, all these kalas also constantly move towards purusha, and once they meet the purusha, then they lose their separate names and forms, and they are known only as purusha. So, as a seeker, we have to understand all these kalas. They are all present in our body only, all these kalas. And we have to know that all of them are moving toward this purusha. So, we should recognize the purusha. And once we recognize the purusha, all the divisions of kalas will get dissolved. And I will remain as that Param Purusha only, free from all kalas. And when I become free from all kalas, I also become free from death, because all birth and death are within the kalas only. So all these kalas are connected to the Purusha, just like the spokes of a wheel are connected to the hub. So this hub is like the Purusha, so is the Vedyam Purusha, that Purusha has to be known if you want to become free of the affliction of death. So having given this knowledge, the teacher tells the students that this much alone I know about that Param Brahma. And then he adds that there is nothing more to be known. Na atak param asti, because there is nothing superior to this. This is the ultimate. So when the students heard this and gained this knowledge from the teacher, they were so overwhelmed with gratitude. They just prostrated, they did the Pada Puja of the teacher and addressed him as their father. Etam archayantaha tvam hina pita, you are our father. You asmakam avidyaya param param tarayasi iti. You have taken us across this avidya, this ignorance, to the other shore of ignorance, to that moksha. Namah Parama Rishibhya. Namaskar to all these great rishis. Namah Parama Rishibhya. Namaskar to all the great rishis. Thus conclude this beautiful Upanishad. We will chant the Shanti mantra again. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. So thus we have concluded this beautiful Upanishad. We will have few days break from our regular this online classes, and we will start with some other beautiful text. I will let you know. So you keep looking for this news. So now we will have break for few days or few weeks, and then we will begin with the new text. So I'm very happy that we could do this Upanishad regularly, and all of you who participated in this online classes. I pray to Bhagwan that all of you gain this knowledge properly, and may you follow the path shown by this Upanishad and attain the supreme goal. So we will meet again whenever we begin the new text. So till then, you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and listen to all these pravachans again. So when we don't have these classes, you can go through all the text which you have studied before and listen to them again. And keep contemplating and keep doing your sadhana. Okay? Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siya Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.